I don't play. I play this probably 3 or 4 times a year because it's a hard one to pull off. But I'll do it because you asked for it. But I won't close on this one. I've made that mistake before. I won't. I promise I'll do something. I'll do one more after this. But this is a song I wrote with Drew Kennedy and about a trip I took to Italy, to a beach where my grandfather fought in World War II, and it was a really tiny beachhead, and they were stuck there for 6 months. It was called Anzio Beach. They were stuck there for 6 months, and the difference between life and death was just a few inches. And he survived, and a lot of people didn't. And I thought when I was there looking at it that if he had been a few inches on one side or the other, I wouldn't be standing there to be looking at that, you know. And so I came back and wrote this song. We changed it to France because for poetic license, but this one's called French Summer Sun. They heard the quiet buzzing of a fly. For a second he wasn't quite sure what it was, till it tickled his face and he opened his eyes on a beach in the French summer sun. With sulfur in the air and the smell of something worse, he leaned up on his elbow and looked around, wiped some blood from his face and saw his buddy James mangled and torn apart on the ground. Well, the medics got to him, and you thank God they did. He spent 27 days in a field hospital before making the slow trip home to the States, minus one leg, which still seemed impossible. Got a job sorting mail at the Birmingham post office, 5 days a week, enough pay to get by. He met a beautiful girl through a mutual friend. 11 months later, that girl was his wife. The nightmares were often and so vivid and real. He'd wake up screaming a few times a week. She was patient and kind and stayed by his side. In time he found a more restful sleep. And by the next year they had him a son who got drafted when he turned 18. And he went off to fight, but he came back whole, met my mom, and they had me. And I come from a long line of soldiers whose blood's still flowing through me. They fought in fields and foreign lands so I could be who I wanted to be. Well, I broke the streak and I went to college instead of Kabul or Kuwait. I earned my degree and I got hired to teach Shakespeare and Wordsworth and Yeats at a decent-sized high school outside of Atlanta. I did the best that I could. Yeah, that's heady stuff for kids that age. But all in all, I think I did some good. And I come from a long line of soldiers whose blood's still flowing through me. They fought in fields and foreign lands so I could be who I wanted to be. heard the quiet buzzing of the fly. For a second he wasn't quite sure what it was, till it tickled his face and he opened his eyes, and he died there in that French summer sun. And that girl he would have met sorting mail back in Birmingham, well, she met a lawyer and they fell in love. So their story ends before it began, on that beach in the French summer sun. And that child she had, that wasn't my dad, and I wasn't ever his son. So my story ends before it began, on that beach in the French summer sun. And I come from a long line of soldiers